And with that, hey guys, been a bit. I want to keep this brief because I kind of want to jump in. I've been waiting for this for a while. Delays were due to, let's call it, mistimings and misadventure. But here now. I was sick for a bit. I don't really feel like doing a whole lot of anything kind of thing. But I'm a little better now. Definitely got more stamina. Still a little under the weather for some reason. I don't think it's the same thing. I don't even think that I'm really sick. I think it just makes me. Anyway, but we're back. There was a couple of other things, but I think I can save it for the last, even though I don't really do a last. Anyway, let's just jump in. I'm kind of done mumbling to myself. Let's go. Oh, one thing that I did want to mention before we go in. I'm not really like the kind of guy that like, I need to see the analytics. Are they liking it? Do they see it? Yeah. But I mean, like, I do a curious glance every now and again. How come my most watched VOD is the extremely shitty, super scuffed, like, very, very first time I tried it? Guys, please. I swear it's gotten better. Please watch the rest. And I'm not even really begging. I'm just like, why does that one have so many? Is it because it's shorter? Is that what you guys want? Should I start cutting these shorter? I don't know. But like I've been thinking, that one's kind of bad. So I've been thinking maybe I should go back and once we finish up with Unlimited Blade Works, when we go back and do the last route, I'll just, reread the whole prologue because, like, I don't know. It seems really low quality. I don't want to take it down. I don't think I'm gonna take it down, but I do want to get like a better one in. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. February 14th. Hey, isn't that Valentine's Day? Unlimited Blade Works 15. After image. Interlude 15:1. It is daybreak. The knight in red is leaning against a pillar and staring at his arm. Putting strength into his fingers, he makes a fist. His body is only half responding. Even heroic spirits cannot maintain their existence in this world without their masters. He still exists because of the special class ability of Archer, but he's almost at his limits. His remaining strength is not even a tenth of his original power. His muscles are weak, and his body will slowly disappear if he loses focus. But there's no problem. Even if he has less than a tenth of his original power, it is enough to kill Emi Shirou. Considering the difference in their abilities, this isn't even a handicap. Therefore, it will end once they fight. His one and only objective will be accomplished here. That's right. He has waited for this time. He has endured the endless repetition, hoping for this chance. He has awaited a miracle that would not occur, a miracle with a probability close to 0. And his wish was granted. No, it's about to be granted. He does not care what awaits him afterwards. He will kill his own self with his own hands. The hopeless, futureless wish what kept him going after he wore out. Was it long, or was it an instant? He is an existence that disappears after each summoning. His memory does not remain, no matter how many times he repeats the cycle. Except for when it doesn't. Anyway. It only stays in his body as knowledge. Heroic spirits recognize other heroic spirits because of these accumulated facts. It's just like a book. Every time a heroic spirit is summoned, the book with its story is sent to its home. The heroic spirit itself remains in the house, reading those books. The trouble is that one at the house does not know when those books arrived. Past or future do not matter. All the books are already in his room. His only way of measuring time is to read the records of his cleaning that he will accomplish. It makes no difference if it's eternal or instantaneous. Eternity, its instantaneousness, and an instant is eternal. Therefore, he does not know how rare this miracle is. He does not know if this is the first time or the thousandth time since he obtained this hope. All he has is unordered knowledge. Past, present, and future are meaningless for heroic spirits. Guest, huh? I chose this place because I was told there'd be no interruptions here. The knight in red suddenly gets up. Did his ears hear the sound of the intruder? Footsteps echo through the silent castle. Wow, I'm surprised, Tosaka. I was dubious, but you really are here. A voice echoes. A rude and... Okay. Let me redo that line, because he gets a special one. Wow, I'm surprised, Tosaka. I was dubious, but you really are here. Oh, don't do anything violent, okay? I don't have any business with you. You have no business with Tosaka either, right? Then isn't it meaningless for us to fight here? Mato Shinji walks forward with light steps. He's looking at Tosaka, who is tied up. The girl glares silently at the intruder. That must delight him. He licks his lips in satisfaction and walks to the girl. What? Stared down by the knight, Mato Shinji looks up in annoyance. What? You want to fight me? Are you serious? You'd be no match for me. He smiles and turns back to the entrance. There stands a man with golden hair, the eighth servant, Gilgamesh. He is literally a disaster, in many ways. The golden servant looks at the knight with cool eyes, but with them, the red eyes show only intent to brutally kill the enemy in front of him. The knight in red is still silent. It makes no difference even if Mato Shinji appears or if the strongest servant is ready to attack him. The knight calmly stares at the uninvited enemies. You're scared, right? That's nothing to be ashamed of. He even killed Berserker. It's natural for you to be scared. Do you want Rin, Mato Shinji? Huh? Yeah, of course. There's no other reason for me to come to this castle. I see. Then wait until this is over. I'll give her to you once I kill Emiya Shirou. She's mine until then. It cannot be helped if you cannot compromise on that. It'll be regrettable, but you will die here, Gilgamesh. The knight's eyes remain on the golden servant as he speaks. Very funny, you fool! Were those words reason enough for the man to kill Archer? The golden servant identifies the knight in front of him as a target he must kill. Hold on, Gilgamesh. Don't be rash, and let's be smart. Come on. He says he's gonna give her to me, so I'll let him. Archer doesn't have a master. I'm sure no master will make a contract with a servant that betrayed so many people, so he'll disappear if we let him be. I can take Tosaka after that. Mato Shinji smiles and stares at the knight in red. He looks as if he's enjoying the fate of the one who's about to disappear. You're smart, Mato Shinji. It's an intelligent decision. You are a most fitting master, in a sense. Oh, you show promise. How wasteful. I would have made a contract with you if you came to me. You mean when you were desperate? Stepping away from the knight, Mato Shinji claps his hands happily. But I'm sorry. I don't need any more servants. It's unfortunate, but you'll have to disappear. You don't need to tell me. So what do? You fight me, or wait until I disappear? Yeah, I'll wait. We'll protect Tosaka until you kill Emiya. But yeah, that thing is mine already, right? Then I can do anything to her, right? He stares at the knight and Tosaka with snake-like eyes. His words are to test the loyalty of the knight. To that, I have promised Emiya Shirou that she will not be harmed. That promise is over at dawn. You can do as you wish when the time comes. The knight in red replies in an emotionless voice. Did you hear that, Tosaka? Your servant is selling off his master! Sneering laughter echoes in the dirty room. The knight exits as if he's not interested. Archer passes by Gilgamesh. Archer ignores his mocking gaze and walks into the hallway. At that instant, Faker? The King of Heroes said so as if despising him. Interlude. Out. Would that be like 11 minutes? It's daybreak. There's less conversation as we make our way through the forest, and the silence gets heavier. I, Emiya Shirou, must fight that man when we get to the castle. There's no chance of victory, and a certain loss awaits. I know I'll just be killed once we start fighting. I'm not scared, but it's not because I'm prepared for it. If you talk about dying, that man is already dead. It is equivalent for Emiya Shirou to be dead the moment I figured that out. That being the case, I have no reason to worry. We go through the castle gate. Saber looks gloomy, maybe because she knows what kind of a fight awaits us. What's troubling her is him and me. No matter who gets killed and who survives, the one to be eliminated is the same. Her desire to stop this ridiculous fight is causing her pain. Her eyes stare at the sky sharply, and maybe she's angry at the meaningless battle. The hall is a ruin now. This place, covered with the morning mist, will become our place of death. You're finally here. You're late, Emiya Shirou. Cold voice echoes. The familiar voice comes from the second floor. The man is standing at the top of the stairs, which are lit by the morning sun. His red outfit is far away, and his figure is hazy in the white glare. But I can see him. I can see my enemy in detail. That should be the same for the man with the hawk eyes. The servant with the role of archer given to him. He's an archer, but not an archer. And he's a contradictory existence that has many noble phantasms, yet carelessly destroys them all. All his noble phantasms are duplications, and the fact that he's able to produce swords in infinite number is his noble phantasm. I was the only one who did not realize his true identity. Heroic spirits are summoned from every age. If nobody from the past corresponds to him, then the heroic spirit must be from the future. I finally realize now, there shouldn't be two of that pendant. That pendant is... Yeah, it's the pendant you held onto throughout your life after you were saved. It's the one and only memento of Tosaka Rin's father. It's impossible that two such pendants should exist. If Emiya Shirou held onto the pendant throughout his life, as he says, then... A catalyst is always needed to summon a heroic spirit. As when you summon Saber, there has to be a connection between the summoner and the one summoned. Tosaka Rin didn't have a catalyst to summon a heroic spirit. Therefore, she thought that she had no connection with this servant she had summoned. But no heroic spirit summoned is summoned by chance. A physical connection is absolutely necessary between the summoner and the heroic spirit. If he's right, there can only be one answer. If Tosaka did not have a catalyst connected to Archer, then... Yeah, it is when the heroic spirit has a catalyst connected to the summoner. The jewel is the only one of its kind. My life was saved, but I did not know who saved me, so I held on to the pendant which I had thought belonged to my savior. That's the answer. If he has Tosaka's pendant, then there's only one person who he can be. Heroic spirit, Emiya. The future me. The heroic spirit before me is Emiya Shirou, who perfected his skills and made his ideal come true. The knight in red, Archer, looks down at me from the top of the stairs. There's no one around him. He's standing alone in this vast hall. Archer, where's Tosaka? I've left her somewhere in this castle. You should hurry if you're worried about her. You were late, so I gave her to Mato Shinji, since he came earlier. What? I kept my promise with you. I will not harm her. But it does not concern me what other people do to her. But the result is pretty obvious. Mato Shinji feels hatred and lust towards Tosaka-ryu. One doesn't need to think about what he will do to her. He might not be able to restrain himself if she provokes him, so he might be killing it. Oh, jeez, I don't even want to say that right now. I get pissed off. How can you say such a thing so calmly? Ah, don't get impatient, kid. Leave that girl to me. I'll go save her. Huh? Lancer? It's an order from my master. My entire reason for joining you was to keep that girl from dying. Still, this was rather comfortable. I didn't feel bad yesterday. It's fair for me to like my job. Those words, Lancer ignores Archer and heads to the west terrace. Lancer? Don't worry about it. I'm doing this out of my own interest. Well, I've been giving many distinguishing orders up till now, so at least follow through on this. You can concentrate on your own affairs. Okay, I'm leaving Tosaka to you. He lightheartedly replies with a yep. Then, Lancer stops and turns around as if he remembered something. Hey, what are you doing, Saber? You coming too? You're coming too. Saber lowers her eyes painfully. No, I will stay here, Lancer. She stands next to me and replies unlike a servant. You serious? That girl's your master now, right? You should be protecting your master. I understand that, but I would like to stay here. I need to watch over this fight. Fine, do as you wish. Lancer leaves. He easily jumps up to the terrace and disappears into the passageway. Archer doesn't do anything. It's as if he's saying Tosaka's useless now. I step over the rubble and walk forward. I'm heading to the center of the room, at the foot of the stairs. Forcing down her emotions, Saber stands still to watch over our battle. You won't do anything, huh? That's good. If Saber interrupts me right now, I'll have broken my contract with Rin for nothing. I can hear Saber's hesitation. Saber takes a quick breath and replies to the man at the top of the stairs. I will not interfere. I will not do anything during your battle with Shirou. Very good. I can kill him with ease. Yes, but please answer me before that. Why are you trying to kill Shirou? There's nothing to explain. Just as he cannot approve of me, I too cannot approve of him. That cannot be true. You are Shirou. You are the ideal of Emiya Shirou. You are the one who became a hero. So why are you trying to kill yourself? Why do you think? The hero called Emiya and the inexperienced Emiya Shirou are two separate beings. We cannot exist at the same time, unless that is the case. That is because you became a servant. I heard that guardians can be summoned into the age in which they lived, since they are not bound to the time axis. You are Shirou. You should be the personification of his ideal. The person he became after so much hard work, so why? She finishes in a broken voice. Why are you so different? Not responding, he starts down the stairs. He cannot answer that question. If he were able to, he would not be fighting here. Archer! Saber steps forward to confront Archer. It's fine, Saber. Just step back. I stop her with my hand and keep her at the entrance. But Shirou? I appreciate it, but talking's useless. From the very beginning, his objective has been to kill me. Saber bites her lip in frustration. Saber stares at me, then at Archer. Why, Archer? I do not understand. I heard that guardians are the ones who became hero experience after the deaths in order to protect people. So why are you trying to kill yourself? Guardian? Maybe something she said got through to him. He stops and looks down at Saber without emotion. You're wrong, Saber. Guardians are not the ones that protect the people. They're only cleaners. They're definitely not the heroes I would once wish to become. His voice sounds different. Hatred and scorn fill it now. Acha? I did become a hero. I became a superhero, just as Emiya Shirou had wanted. A superhero. Someone who will not harm anyone. Someone who will not retreat no matter what disaster he may face. Someone who can save everyone. Someone Emiya Shirou wanted to become. And that man became such a person? Acha? Yeah, I certainly did save some people. I have made many ideals come true, and I have saved the world from danger several times. A hero. I did reach the place I had dreamed of for so long. You became a hero, then Shirou was rewarded, right? At the very least, you made Emiya Shirou's ideal come true. Then you should not have any regrets. Shirou was able to make his wish come true. There's no conviction in her voice. She already knows. She knows that she's only voicing her own wish. Make his wish come true, huh? I certainly did become a superhero, just like in my ideal. But all I obtained at the end were regrets. All that was left was death. I killed, and killed, and killed. I killed many people to act on my ideal. I killed so many that I stopped caring about innocent people, and I saved 1,000 times as many as I killed. Saber stares at Archer, speechless. She looks like someone who saw her own mirror image. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've repeated the cycle. I fought as often as requested, and I fought with my life in danger whenever I knew there was a conflict. I fought many times, so many times that I can't even remember now. It can't be helped, right? No matter who I save, there will always be people who will perish. No matter how many conflicts I resolve, new conflicts are always created. A superhero has to keep existing as long as conflict exists. Who did he direct that to? The knight slowly descends the stairs and recounts his past. That is why I killed. I trampled on dozens of wishes to save one person. I ignored even more people to save those I trampled over. I killed scores of people, rescued only those in front of me, and destroyed many more wishes. I kept being stubborn, saying that it'll end this time, that everyone will become happy. But it never ended. Conflicts came into my view as long as I'm alive. It was endless. I didn't dream of a world without conflicts. I just wanted people in my view not to cry. That is definitely my own wish. My vision expands after I save 1. 10 after 1. 100 after 10. How many was it after 100? At that time I finally realized that Emiya Shirou's ideal was just a convenient fantasy. Why is that? Don't ask the obvious, Saber. You should have experienced the same thing many times already. You cannot save everyone. I assume it was a daily routine for you to sacrifice a few people to save the country. Quiet voice is rendered powerless to object. The words of the Red Knight are Saber's darkness as well. Yes, the seats are limited. There will always be fewer seats called happiness than there are people to fill them. Since you cannot save everyone, someone will have to be sacrificed. And I quickly killed the ones that would eventually fall out to minimize the damage. This is what it means to be that boy's vision of the ideal superhero. The wish for nobody to become sad. The desire to save as many people as possible. When the two coexist and contradict each other, there's only one solution. The only people a superhero can save are the people he sides with. If one's to lose everything by trying to save everything, it is correct to sacrifice one to save more. A superhero should save many people, right? That's why I killed. I prayed for no one to die, but I killed one to save many. I said I would not have anyone sad, but I brought despair to a few in the dark. And in time I got used to it. To protect my ideal, I kept going against it. I only saved the people I tried to save and quickly killed the people who opposed me. I allowed someone to be sacrificed to keep protecting my ideal. That's the true identity of the hero, Emiya. See, don't you think such a guy should die? That's right. The only ones a superhero can save are the people he sides with. But who was it that defied those words? That's a lie. Even if that happened, you would have protected your ideal by choosing yourself to be that someone. The knight stops for a second. A frown crosses his face. You did not go against your ideal. You only lost your path because you were betrayed by the ideal you protected. You would not think of killing yourself to atone for the sins unless that were the case. His ironic smile disappears, after coldly staring at Saber. He starts laughing like a madman, as if it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. Wow, that is great. Atone for my sins? Don't be stupid, Saber. I have no sins to atone for, nor have I forced such a meaningless concept on anyone. And I calmly goes mad. He spoke in a small voice, but his laughter echoes through the hall. Yeah, you're right, Saber. I was certainly betrayed and deceived many times. I've been accused by the exact person I saved. After giving my all to stop a conflict, I was accused of being its cause, and was executed in the end. See? If I had any sins to atone for, I've already done so, right? What? Impossible, Acha. You cannot mean your end is... So that was it. But I didn't care about that. From the start I didn't do these things to be appreciated. I had no intention of being praised as a hero. I just wanted a result where everyone could be happy. But such a wish never came true. Not within my lifetime, nor after my death. He stopped laughing. There's only hatred in his voice now. Guardians are a colorless force that places humanity's survival before anything. The powers are in the heavens, and the Guardians appear in this world only when there's a chance for human extinction. I knew they were just slaves. I knew that people who became Guardians are removed from the circle of reincarnation to become like nothingness. But I didn't care, so long as I could save people. Emiya Shirou could not fulfill his oath. So, I thought it'd be fine if I could become a guardian to take part in stopping humanity's destruction. But it's actually different. Guardians don't save people. All they do is clean up after humans. They take what has been done and nullify it with their power. They do not save people. All they do is eliminate harmful people without distinction of good or evil. They don't save people in despair. Instead, they eliminate people in despair in order to save others who are enjoying life. It's so ridiculous. How am I different from before? There is no difference. There is just more despair. He relied on a greater power since his powers alone were not enough. But it ended up being the same. He thought the power would not make his wish come true, but it only made him do the same things on a grander scale. Acha, you have repeated such a thing forever? I got used to it. Humans repeat things. The strong feed on the weak, regardless of what age you're talking about. And I came to realize that it's just the most efficient way to prosper. Yeah, I watched it over and over. Meaningless massacres, meaningless equality, meaningless happiness. I was forced to look at them, even when I refused to. As a guardian, I have no free will. I'm called by the people only to take care of the crime people have created. And that's where he ended up. A being that repairs the damage caused by human desire. Guardians don't save people. Rather, they eliminate those who cannot be saved as if they never existed. Over and over. For many times, he saw people nearly destroy themselves through their own actions, and he burned them down like trash each time. Save as many people as possible. The man became a hero with that one wish, but in the end, he could not make it true, even once. That's right. This is wrong. This is not what I wished for. I did not... That's right. This is wrong. This is not what I wished for. I did not become a guardian for this! His anger is probably directed at himself. What is standing there is a worn-out corpse. The hero Emiya is doomed to always see the ugliness of those he wanted to save. He grew to hate them in the end. He grew to hate humans for repeating conflicts. He grew to hate himself for thinking that humans are sacred. I don't want to clean up after people, but as long as I'm a guardian, there's no way for me to escape this cycle. Save one exception. Murderous intent flares in his cold eyes. He wasn't looking at Saber, so only one objective for Archer: to kill his own self. Kill yourself. Even if he dies, the real body of Emiya, who is in the place outside the cycle, is not bound by time. He will not disappear. There is no elimination for guardians. They are nothing to start with. It is meaningless to kill something that's not part of the real world. But there is one way for him to disappear. If someone who is to become a hero is killed before he becomes a hero, that hero will never come into existence. Therefore, are you going to kill Shirou here with your own hands? Yeah. I kept waiting for this chance. It was a possibility close to zero. But I staked everything on it. I could not contain myself unless I believed in it. While I acted as a guardian, this was the one hope that kept me going. That is meaningless, Acha. You've already become a guardian, so it's too late. Even if you kill Emiya Shirou, who is yet to become a hero, you yourself will not disappear. That may be true, but there's still a chance, however small. Just altering the past might not be enough, but the paradox will be even greater if I'm the one to do it. If the distortion is large enough, a hero called Emiya will disappear here. And Saber, This is what I've been waiting for. I'm not looking for results now. I'm just taking my anger out on a kid called Shirou, the one who'll become a clown as a result of his stupid ideal. And the knight in red comes down to the hall. Only Archer and I stand in the hall filled with rubble. There's nothing separating us. The reason is simple. He wants to kill me, and I want to beat him up because I don't like him. I walk to the center of the hall. I won't be able to back out once I take a few more steps. But before that... Archer, do you regret your actions? There's one thing I have to ask him. Of course No, you should not have become a superhero. He spits those words out, and that dispels my last doubts. You see, then we are two different people. What? I will never regret my path. I won't regret it, no matter what may happen. So, I'll never approve of you. If you say you're my ideal, I'll destroy such an incorrect ideal with my own hands. That's how I've been living up till now. I've always believed that I am right. As he says, I'm sure it's full of false courage and distortion. I've lost more than I have gained. But that's all the more reason why. I can't withdraw for the sake of the things that I've lost. I walk forward. My circuit has already started sketching the blueprint in my mind. That way of thinking is the cause of all this. There will come a time when you will reach me. There won't be such a time. It'll never come. Oh? Does that mean you'll be killed here before that happens? I take a step towards my enemy. We're close enough to strike at each other. We don't have any weapons. We confront each other empty-handed. Shirou is not a swordsman. We are beings that create swords. Then? So it seems you understand. Yeah, to fight against me is to compete in projection. The twin swords appear in his hands. That night, the simple twin swords I admired in the Realta temple. Rare swords that a legendary craftsman made at the price of his wife. Trace. On. I activate the completed blueprint and reproduce the twin swords using my image. What a bad job. The twin swords I once thought were perfect are too imprecise compared to this. An inferior illusion will become a delusion. Probably. My swords will shatter and disappear when they crash against his. I take another step. Crunch. The rubble crunches under my foot. That serves as a signal. Will you be able to keep up with my projection? You will die once your swords lose their precision. The opposing swords sweep through the air. They are drawn together like magnets and clash into each other. Interlude 15-2. The search ends rather quickly. Lancer's thought to be specialized in battle, but he's actually skilled in magic. Gay Bulg is not the only thing he obtained in the Country of Shadows. He's the hero who obtained all 18 of the Ruins of Origin. But since he prefers to battle using his lance, the magic rarely gets used. And now is one of those rare times. Alright. The thing that flies above the floor suddenly drops. The Berkana rune finishes its search and turns back into a stone. Who are you? An unfamiliar boy stands up in confusion. Lancer realizes that he knows this voice and recalls who he is. You're Ryder's master. Ah, I thought you were dead already. He stops halfway. He sees Tosaka Rin behind the boy. She's tied to a chair. That's fine. It's to be expected since she's captured. But there's a bit more to the girl. First of all, the chair's on the ground. She's tied to the chair, so Tosaka Rin's also on the ground. Her long black hair is covered in sand, and something red can be seen on her mouth. She must have cut her lip. There's also a slight bruise by her mouth. You're Lancer? What? Who allowed you to come in here? You're... The fist smashes into Mato Shinji's cheek. The light back fist blows the boy into the wall. Oh, sorry, kid. I guess I'll let my hand do the talking. He didn't kill the boy since it was unconscious. But it would have been unconscious if Tosaka Rin looked paler, and her clothes were not more disordered. He could have consciously tried to blow the boy's head off if that were the case. Would not have been unconscious. Actually, Lancer doesn't really care how a captive is treated, but he will not tolerate having his spoils snatched by someone else. Spoils for him are enemies he has to kill, and women he favors. Lancer? Tosaka Rin groaned, still tied to the chair. She must have been unconscious as her voice is not too much different from when she wakes up. Yeah, it's morning. Wake up, lazy bones. Nancy gives an out-of-place greeting and walks to Tosaka Rin. What? This is Einsburn Castle. I know. Oh, don't move. I'm gonna cut your hands free. Do as you wish after that. You can go in the hall and stop the fighting idiots, or you can go home through the back door. The red lance appears. That's helpful, but behind you, Lancer! Lancer turns around at Rin's warning. What? The one appearing there is unexpected, even for him. The corner of the room, the one walking past Mato Shinji is... Stop right there, Lancer. I ordered you to help them, but not to get this deeply involved. Kotomine Kyrie, the one assumed to have been killed by Castor. Kyrie? Rin lets out a surprised voice. Lancer glares suspiciously at the priest. Hey, when did you change your religion? Was it my master's belief not to come out into the open? I have no religion to change. You are going against my order, Lancer. I thought I told you to kill Archer. Did you fail, Lancer? He'll disappear even if I ignore him. I just came to finish up an unfinished job. But if you're here, does that mean that kid is a pawn of yours? Don't say it like that. We're cooperating. We work together in order to obtain the Holy Grail. The priest says so without looking at the boy moaning at the rubble. I see. Knew you wouldn't die so easily. Not only were you still alive, but you were doing things behind our backs, eh? You really got bad taste. What are you doing controlling that harmless Shinji? I see you see him as harmless, huh? You are the same as always, even in this situation. I would not be so reluctant to do this if you weren't so smart. The priest laughs. He looks and sounds as if he's giving a benediction to the dying. A chill runs up the girl's spine. At that moment, she realizes her fate. With a saintly smile, the priest gazes upon the sacrifice, who had been his pupil for the past 10 years. Hold on, Kotomine. What are you going to do with her? Did you tell me a lie when you said you wanted to save your pupil? Lancer glares at his master while standing in front of the girl. It is not a lie. I have raised her to be my tool. I have deceived her for 10 years, so it would be boring if she retired so easily. That is why I ordered her protection. I have prolonged her life for only 2 days, but isn't that more than enough to show my love? The priest walks past Lancer and looks down at the girl on the ground. The girl glares at her former instructor. You fraud. I knew it was possible, but you really are a master, huh? How unfair for a supervisor to take part in the game. You are rather calm, Rin. So you did know, huh? Of course. I didn't show you my servant because I suspected you. But I didn't think I was deceived from the start. From the start? Then the priest frowns, as if the words are unexpected. Why, do you have something to complain about, Kyrie? No, you said from the start, so I was merely wondering what you meant by that. The priest grins. He looks down at the girl with utmost pleasure. Hold on, Kyrie. You don't mean... Are you talking about the start of this Holy Grail War? Or do you mean the previous one? With that, the girl understands everything. Her face turns pale, and she looks up at the man she studied under her for 10 years in disbelief. I see. So you killed him, huh? Of course! He was my beloved teacher, so it was easy to attack him by surprise. A grinding sound. The girl hangs her head and grits her teeth. You... Get lost in your afterlife, you damn priest! If you have no place to be, okay? Even hell wouldn't take a bastard like you. An impotent guy like you should lay on needles in hell! The girl keeps on cursing him. Of course, the priest doesn't care about such things. But the boy is overawed by her change. Mato Shinji never thought Tosaka would show this much emotion. Kotomine, you know Tosaka's mine, right? Only I have business with her. You can go to the church and wait for this to be over. I do have business with her. I need her to become the Holy Grail here. Mato Shinji doesn't understand what the priest is saying. The only ones who understand are the priests and the sacrifice, Tosaka Rin. It should be about the right time when Saber and Archer disappear. I don't want her to struggle and waste magical energy. Let's quickly get this over with. The priest walks away, leaving the girl with those words. The only one in front of Tosaka Rin is Lancer. Kotomine, you... Finish off that trash, Lancer. The vessel does not require a heart. Only Mato Shinji reacts to those words. Tosaka Rin glares at the priest, but bites her lip without speaking. The priest's smile already told her what she was going to be killed here. She understands that she will not be saved, and that she won't be hurt even if she begs for her life. That's why she doesn't complain. That is the only way she can resist. That is her will of opposition. She won't give up until the very last second. Help might even arrive at this moment, and she might be the only one that survives after this room miraculously crumbles. Well, it won't happen. She won't give up, but she also understands that it's impossible. That's why she has no fear. Except for one thing. She imagines that boy's expression when he finds her dead after coming to save her. She doesn't want him to cry. It angers her that she's the cause of his tears, and she doesn't know how she can apologize to him. No, she can't apologize if she dies, but she still doesn't want him to cry. Sorry, Amico. I guess I'm retiring first. So she decides to apologize ahead of time. It does no good, but her calms her down. What's wrong, Lancer? It's just a girl. It should be easy to pierce her. Priest shows no mercy. To that, I refuse. I can't obey that order. Use the command spell if you want me to do it. Lancer replies while looking at the priest as if he's an enemy. What? The priest narrows his eyes. The master and the slave. The air inside the room freezes as they stare at each other. I see. I guess it cannot be helped. I do not like wasting a command spell on something I can do myself. He raises his left arm. The priest activates the command spell on his arm. Then I will command you. Kill yourself, Lancer. He vomits up blood. But that's nothing compared to the blood spilling from his chest. Kotomine, you... His voice is a whisper now. The spearman, Lancer's chest and heart are pierced by his own lance. Farewell. Your duties are already at an end. The man in blue armor falls to the floor. Redness permeates the floor. There's no sign of him getting it back up. The spearman in blue has been defeated by his own lance at the command of his own master. The priest moves. He walks over to the girl and crouches down. Her heart. He stoops so that he can easily pull out Tosaka Rin's heart. What? Katamine? That's not what you promised! You said you'd give me Tosaka! The priest gives the boy a wordless glance. No, you can't have Tosaka. I have so much to pay her back for, so she has to be alive. Mato Shinji protests, his teeth chattering at the sight of Lancer's corpse. Honestly, this is more spine than I thought he'd show, but like, he's still an asshole about it. But he stops. The boy slowly retreats, unable to take the priest's stare. The priest looks from the boy back to the girl. Is there anything you would like to say in the end? I shall at least hear out your will. His words are simple. You should know what I'm thinking in a situation like this. Tosaka Rin answers in her normal manner. You're right. You never give up until the very last second, Rin. At the very same time, you have this wonderful side to you that admits reality. Yes, the contradiction is very mellow. He shows no hesitation. The priest grabs the girl's breast, right at the top of her heart. The girl closes her eyes at the sensation. A pierce. The heart is pierced, and blood gushes out. Even after being abandoned, the room is still used as a disposal for corpses. Interlude out. Oh. The one to gasp is Tosaka Rin. Blood drips onto the floor. The dripping sound is made by something above her. From the chest of the priest, who is looking down at the girl. Blood pours from his mouth. The wound on his chest is fatal. The weapon protruding from her back is the cursed lance that always strikes its targets. The priest shows no emotion. With his lips covered in blood, he turns to Lancer. Lancer. You... Too bad, Kotamine. Wouldn't be much of a hero if I died instantly from a wound like this. Anyone can tell that the ironic voice is bluffing. Lancer has no vitality. He has no heart, and his body is about to disappear. The demonic lance is pulled out. The priest, having nothing to show for his departure, falls and dies. No matter how great his mastery of magic, or how powerful his divine protection, he's still a mere human. There's no way for him to be alive after being stabbed in his heart by the demonic lance. So it did end like I imagined, huh? The knight leans against the wall and tries to hold up his disappearing body, but it's only temporary. Lancer will disappear once he falls to the ground. He lost his heart and his master. He's still able to maintain his body because of his dirty survival tricks, called Guts later. This is great! All the idiots can just kill each other! Shinji. Oh, the girl who is staring at the dead priest is brought back to reality by a laughing voice. What about the Holy Grail being mine? The useless guy stayed useless, huh? Mato Shinji kicks the priest's corpse. The dead man does not move. That must have pleased him as the boy kicks the priest's head with all his might. A heavy smacking sound echoes in the room. The sensation of the sound excites Mato Shinji more than he expected. But I won't complain. I'm not holding any grudges, and it's pitiful to keep talking to a corpse. He laughs. The boy, whose sanity is almost gone, walks towards Tosaka Rin with staggering steps. Sorry to keep you waiting, Tosaka. There was a lot of interference, but we're finally done. There's only 3 more servants. I'm sure everything will be in order by the time you get tired of crying here. He literally goes on all 4s to get on top of Tosaka Rin like a lizard. God, he's so weird. But it's all good. I had some business with you as well. It'd really trouble me if you died too easily. That'd be very rude, since I've been waiting so long for this. Come on, beg me, Tosaka. I might save you, depending on how you act. The Holy Grail's going to be mine. I might consider sharing it with you if you are to be mine. I'm utterly amazed. Are you really that stupid? Then, even while she's tied up and being licked on her cheek by the boy, Tosaka Rin speaks up. What? I'm asking you if you've learned your lesson yet. You were just used by Kyrie. Listen, that servant isn't one that can be handled. You should know that since you've been near him. You should wake up and run away. You might still have time. You should run away as fast as possible if you don't want to die. You're just begging for your life. You're the idiot, Tosaka. Kurobine died. Who'd get in my way now? Mato Shinji runs his fingers along the girl's body. That instant. Hey. Mato Shinji's punched away once again. He's flung to the wall. Stop it, kid. You're not worthy to touch that woman. Lancer glares at the boy and walks lazily to the girl. What? You're going to object to me when you're almost dead? The spearman stops. He now turns to Mato Shinji. You would have died in peace if you'd kept quiet. Fine, I won't kill you so easily. Come on, Gilgamesh. He wants to die in style. He raises his voice. Mato Shinji's servant, the one who can kill any heroic spirit, is summoned by his master and... Hey! Damn, what's he doing? Can't you hear me? I'm telling you to come here! His voice sheepishly echoes through the room. The golden servant does not appear. The spearman, covered in blood, takes another step towards the annoying boy. Damn. What's with you? What are you trying to be so cool when you're almost dead? Die already! Don't you know you're just in my way, you monk? The lance is thrust. The quick thrust pierces Mato Shinji through his right shoulder. A scream tears through the room. Lancer pulls out the lance with an almost bored expression and points it at Mato Shinji's temple. Get lost. I may almost be dead, but I can still easily kill 1,000 of you. Retreating to the wall and shivering, Mato Shinji runs away. Man, that kid made me waste energy. Letting out a big sigh, he walks over to the girl. The lance cuts away the girl's bonds like paper. Thanks. You really helped me out, Lancer. She thanked him as soon as she's freed. Unmindful of the dirt that covers her, she bows to Lancer. Well, it just turned out the way. You don't need to thank me. At that instant, he falls. Lancer? Lancer? She tries to catch him, but she doesn't make it. Lancer, who is leaning against a wall, crumples onto the ground. His legs won't move. Lancer's limbs are already dead. The fact that he still got up, killed his master, and freed her is unbelievable. Gushing blood stains his blue armor red. Ignore that. Hold on, I'll heal your wound right away. Rin rushes to the bloody spearman. The lancer stops her by raising his hand. It's useless. A heart pierced by my lance won't heal easily. And besides, you don't have magical energy to spare. But don't worry about it. I'm used to this kind of thing. Heroes always die because of unreasonable orders. His casual talk is like always. The blue spearman does not change his tone, even on the verge of his death. The girl stands there, speechless. Looking up at her, Lancer sighs as if the weight is lifted off his shoulders. Man, I guess we both ended up with boarding partners. Yeah, but he was just hard to handle in my case. You're right. I would have had no complaints if a woman like you were my partner. But I've never had such luck with women. Man, this never changes. He laughs in self-derision. Then... well, get going. I'll take him with me. You go back to your partner. The spearman in blue urges the girl. Lance is holding the Ansu's rune. The rune containing his remaining magical energy will burn this room to ashes. Understanding his determination, the girl turns her back to Lancer. Goodbye, Lancer. I only know you for a short while, but I also liked you. She runs to the entrance hall. Whatever, little lady. Come back when you're older. He sounds happy. The room erupts in flames. The blaze burns Lancer's body and his master's corpse, without leaving a trace. The red lance and the blue armor disappear in the flames like empty illusions. What, no servant disappearing sound? Oh, there's the interlude out. Okay. The same swords, the same techniques clash. My attack and his are the same. But still, the blades chip away and my body's wounded the more we fight. The attack that I block breaks through. Concho in my left hand is destroyed by his Concho and his weapon sweeps at me from the side. I twist my body to dodge it, but it still slashes me. Although not immediately fatal, this wound will eventually overcome me. Damn it! Ah! I bear the pain by cursing and swing Bakia at the close enemy. What? It's blocked and destroyed as well. We have the same swords and the same techniques, but there's a gap that I cannot fill. Did you think my Concho and yours are equal? Your assumptions of the basic structure are still too weak. Even if you get the appearance and the composition materials down, it's a matter of course for it to be destroyed if the structure is not reasoned out. Even an image falters if it is illogical. My temple and my side. He strikes both my vital spots at once. Ah! I immediately project the twin swords and parry the attacks. My head hurts to the point of blurring my sight. It's not because of the strain of immediate projection. It's that headache. The instinct I felt when I was searching for Tosaka. The slight fever I got every time I faced him. That strain now threatens to drive me mad. I parry his attacks. I step in and slash at his body. The red headache burns my eyes every time I do so. Is it because of the contradiction that Emiya Shirou and heroic spirit Emiya are existing at the same time? Ever since we recognized each other's identities, my body breaks every time we touch each other. I traced his sword techniques and even his reproduction ability. It's natural for them to suit me. His abilities are Emiya Shirou's optimal technique, perfected over many years of training. There's no way it wouldn't suit me. In trying to match his skill, I allowed myself to learn too much about my future self. Ah! My eyeballs go numb. Every time I swing the sword, every time the sparks fly out, I'm attacked with a flash so strong it could blind me. I am no match for him, and my vision fills with red every time we exchange blows. If that's the worst of it, I don't care. My body's already torn apart. My headache is nothing compared to the burning wound in my stomach. The problem is that the headache won't stop because there's something I'm still drawing out from him. That's the 5th one. You should be nearing your limits of reproduction using projection. I know your magical energy capacity. You have 3 more. Even though I showed that to you, you still misunderstand. His scornful voice contained some disappointment. Misunderstand? I don't care about that. More than anything, I have to do something about this headache right now. The thing flowing from you. Well, it'll be impossible for you even if you arrive at that. It's not enough of the magical energy you can generate right now. Yeah, either way. My headache gets worse. He raises his twin swords to finish the match. You had no chance of victory to begin with. He swings them down in a cross. The swords I blocked them with are destroyed. My body becomes numb, as if a hammer had been smashed on it, and the headache finally sears my brain, as well as my eyes. It's flowing into me. So, this is scarier than the pain. This is his memory. The reason he changed so much. I can see bits and pieces of what will happen to Shirou in the future. I don't know if it was correct or not. Nobody will be able to determine that. The beautiful things were ugly, and the ugly things were beautiful. There's nothing disgusting once you look at it objectively. So why is there such a deviation? Sophistry, falsehood, trickery, vanity. Those are what he saw the most. I am the bone of my sword. But still, it seems he didn't care. There was an ideal, and an oath he had to protect. He didn't care what he lost to do so. Even when he was betrayed, he believed that there would be a next time if he did not betray himself. He didn't show grief or pain. Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. He's like a cold-blooded machine to others. He was a convenient existence, so he was conveniently used. He was only a tool in other people's eyes. But the machine had an ideal it wanted to protect, so it accepted its role as a convenient tool. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. It's not something to go around proclaiming. The more he kills, and the more he's unable to save, the less he can talk about his ideal. The only thing left for him is to obstinately protect his ideal until the very end. And the result, the ideal Shirou dreamed of has never been accomplished. And he found out it's just nonsense, dreamed by a fool who is only a nuisance to others. Have withstood pain to create many weapons. See, this is his end. See, this is your end. My mind gives in. I won't feel compassion. I won't feel compassion. I won't feel compassion. I won't feel compassion, but my mind almost gives in, thinking that I'll be following this exact path. Yet those hands will never hold anything. what you believed in, what you believe in. You're shown that it is just a fantasy. It is covered with lies, and still... His weapon closes in. A horn-like sword comes to pierce my heart. I get away. I have in my hands the twin swords I quickly projected. I forced down my nausea. What was I seeing? Forget it. Forget what you just saw. You need to defeat him. You should focus everything on that goal. I guess it's a miscalculation. I've heard that magic lets you acquire skills from the past by possessing yourself with the previous self. It seems your skills improve the more you fight me. My shoulders heaving, I prepare for my attack, for his attack. Then my projection shouldn't be the only thing you got from me. That face. Seeing that nasty face of yours. You saw it too. My breathing stops. Don't let me say it. Don't let me recall it. If you say what I just saw, that it's simple. It's all true, Emi Shirou. His red cloak moves. He closes in on me in an instant and thrusts the horn sword. It's destroyed in one blow. There's no way a hastily constructed sword and a first attempt at that would match his sword. But, even though I'm empty-handed, he throws away his sword. He projects Durandal, the renowned sword of the king. I skip about 4 steps and quickly reproduce his weapon. But of course, such an imitation is destroyed in one blow. I fall. I'm repelled, and I land with my back on the rubble. That surprises me. The rubble turns red just by having me fall on top of it. Oh. I already know, but it seems my body's almost dead outside and inside. This is it. Your foolishness for coming here when you know you won't be a match. A mindless imitation imprisoned by a stupid ideal. Do you understand that those are your true identity? His voice echoes. My body's covered with wounds. It's bad how the wounds are so deep that I can reach inside them and take out my bones. There's no value in such a life. I'm sure of it. There's no value in Emi Shirou's life. It's wrong to save just because you want to save. You are a fake that should have never existed, as you are broken as a human being. My magical energy is almost depleted. Not only that, the magic circuit to run the magical energy is burned up. Now, if I talk about burning up, oh cool, it's back. Hey, nobody can... I don't think anybody can respond to this. How long was the mic out? I'm just going to pretend I caught it immediately, but I'm also going to reread this whole screen. Whoopsie doodle. My magical energy is almost depleted. Not only that, the magic circuit to run the magical energy is burned up. No, if I talk about it burning up, it burned up yesterday when I used projection. That's just an almost broken thing, completely broke. But my body's telling me it can still fight. My mind bluffs itself, saying that it has not given in. Oh. Then, I have to get up and defeat him. It's useless. I am your ideal. You should realize that you cannot match me. I focus the last of my will on the magic circuit. split nerves scream, but I carefully put together the 8 steps. Trace off. I project his twin swords, Concho and Bakia, 2 great swords named after an ancient swordsmith. I swing them. I keep attacking until my remaining energy runs out. My twin swords are met by twin swords. Archer now holds Concho and Bakia and parries my attack without retreating. I see. It's natural for you not to accept it. As I am your ideal, Emiya Shirou must not accept me more than anyone. His calm tone pisses me off. I can't even breathe, but he is calm and composed. Damn it! I attack with all my energy. Damn! He does not parry my attacks, but he pushes them back. I'm pushed back along with my twin swords. The difference in our powers is obvious. There's no way for me to win with pure strength. Then let me ask you, Shirou. Do you really want to be a superhero? For an instant, my mind blanks out from the surprise attack. What? I don't want to become one. I'm going to become one. I glare back at him. Then, yeah, you need to become a superhero. Because that is your only emotion. An emotion you can neither betray nor deny. Even if that wish is not born from within you. He stops me with words that grab my heart. What? Not born from within me. I deny them before I think about what those words mean. I can't let him finish. I can't realize that fact. If I find out, Emiya Shirou's foundation will crumble. No. It seems you always have a vague idea about it. No. You knew it, but you tried your best to keep that fact from yourself. I can't even remember now. I start to say before I stop myself. I don't want to know. I know that I shouldn't know. Still, I know that I must know. The contradiction of Emiya Shirou. The answer to what's wrong with me and how I am distorted. I do not have your memory anymore, but I still remember that scene. The flame filling my vision and the smell of death. The request for help and how I felt when it was granted. The look of relief on Emiya Kiritsugu's face when he saved me. I realized that it's natural to die, and my mind emptied out. I was saved at that time. The man who saved me smiled with tears in his eyes. That is what I thought was beautiful. It's right. It's not that you felt guilty for being the one saved. You just admired Kiritsugu. You wanted to become like him only because he looked so happy when he saved you. That's right. It's not me that got saved at that time. It's an assumption I didn't even think about. If that fire was Kiritsugu's fault, he shouldn't have been able to bear that fact. A tragedy without any survivors. Kiritsugu, the one who caused it, must have frantically searched for any survivor. And he finally found one that shouldn't have existed. The man found a surviving child that could not be saved. If you talk about miracles, it's... But I knew about that already. I don't care about his circumstances. It was enough for me that he got out of that hell. Even if it may not have been for himself, it's true that he tried to save me and wished for my survival. And that's enough. Emiya Kiritsugu saved a boy who had nothing. So, Yeah, it's natural for a child to admire his parent, but you went too far. It would have been fine if you just admired what Emi Kuretsugu wanted to become, but he left you a curse at the very end. I don't even need to say it, right? That's everything for you. I'll make your dream. That's the answer. Hearing my casual remark, he left the words, unrelieved, behind him. And then that man, who was emptier even than me, died. At that moment, Emi Shirou had already become a superhero. My will doesn't matter. For his sake, I simply tried to become what he had admired since he was small. The wish for everyone to be happy is an impossibility dreamed up not by me, but by Emi Kuretsugu. You should know, Shirou. Your ideal is borrowed. You are only imitating what Emi Kuretsugu wanted to become, what Emi Kuretsugu thought was right. That is... I grit my teeth, desperately trying to resist my mind that's about to give in. But... a superhero? Don't make me laugh. Over and over, you said you wanted to help people, but that wish is not your own. You are conceited to think that such a man could help anyone. He attacks with his swords. With the weight of his contempt behind them, the twin swords are swung more strongly than ever before. Oh, seeing those raging swords, I accept my own death, just as I did 10 years ago. The force comes smashing down. There's no elegance in those attacks, and they are executed only using his strength. My left arm shakes from blocking the attack. My fingers that held onto the sword break. The sword I made using all my remaining power is bent back by one blow. I'm dead. I'm on the verge of death from the first blow, so there's no way that I'll be able to block the next. Oh. But still, my mind's about to give in, but my body denies it with all its might. It's telling me I'm wrong. It appeals to me, saying that it's wrong to give in to his words and die here. I raise my head. My eyes aren't functioning. They don't see the enemy, but show his memories. In them, I see myself curling up and desperately trying to live. The echoing of the swords isn't all I hear. He curses himself every time he attacks. He curses... Oh. That's right! I admired his desire to save people because it's beautiful! I block the oncoming attack. Baki is destroyed. All I have left is Concho in my left hand. But none of that feeling is my own! What else could you call it but hypocrisy? Concho is bent and its existence is fading. My heart is hurting. Not because of his attacks. His words slash at my heart. I was driven by my obsessive need to help someone. I kept running, neither noticing the pain nor how wrong I was. He keeps on denying himself. My heart tries to give up every time I hear him. My body wants to succumb to the force of his attacks. But still, the same body keeps desperately trying to deny him. But it's all a fake! Such hypocrisy cannot save anything! No. First of all, I didn't know what I wanted to save. I'm smashed away. An attack as strong as one of Berserker's easily flings away Emi Shirou's body. But I still hold my ground. I frantically endure the attack coming down on me. I will not be able to get up if I fall down. So my body refuses to let me fall. I thrust the rapidly fading Concho into the ground and lean on it. My body sags forward, and I can't even stand upright. I use Concho as a cane and hold up my falling body with my arms. I must look pitiful. I might look as if I'm kneeling down and begging him. That ideal is a failure. The ideal that everyone else is more important than yourself. The wish for everyone to be happy is all just fantasy. If you can only live by holding on to that ideal, drown in your ideals. He says that. There is no value in living. No, in my life itself. My weapon's about to disappear, and there's little point in trying to keep my body from falling. In contrast, he isn't even scratched. The match is decided. No, the match has been decided from the start. There's no way for Emiya Shirou to beat heroic spirit Emiya. But that is also a mistake. If the difference in our powers was large, the fight wouldn't have turned out like this. It is my mind that lost. My mind was weak because I realized that I'm wrong and that he's right. That was my only failure. Because... Shut up. What? Because my body has been telling me I will not lose to you. Why? Why did power enter my body every time he cursed my ideal as fake? Shut up, damn it! I'll reach it. I'll definitely reach it. If parts of me are broken, then I just need to use the parts that aren't. If everything I have is broken, then use the parts I don't have. If my body hasn't lost yet, I can just reach out to the part of me that hasn't been used yet. A headache. An instant of a few milliseconds, I see him, probably for the last time. I couldn't understand him, but I guess I can use his pain as a lesson. A hero who used a poem about himself as his spell. Even if I don't understand the meaning behind it, I will accept those words in your place. I am. I start the spell so that I can be proud of myself. Emiya's words hurt Emiya. He accepted that fact and chose to kill me. That's the only thing he could wish for in the end. Then, just as you would deny me, I'll defeat you with all my powers. I am the bone of my sword. I remember the words without realizing it. I raised my head. I poured determination into my dying body. I swallowed the blood clotting in my throat. Yang's sword Concho regained its image. You? That's right. I already knew that. This is just a dream. But I kept on believing in it because I thought it was right. Kiritsugu pursued it because he knew it was an unattainable dream, an impossible ideal. Even if it may be unattainable, he believed that he would reach his destination if he kept running. Her sheath, its protection is still there, even though the contract doesn't exist anymore. I ready my sword. I don't care about that. I won't lose to you. I won't mind losing against someone. I don't mind losing against someone, but I can't lose against myself. I'll keep on being Emiya Shirou. Or was it beating? I don't know. One of the two. Yeah, being. Okay. It is an unbelievable technique. His attacking body is on the verge of death. His fingers are broken, his limbs are slashed, and his breathing has stopped without him even realizing it. His speed is nothing, and his attack is mediocre. The boy that has absorbed his combat skills to the point where he is able to fight decently has never returned to fighting without them. An unskilled, frantic attack. But still, this blow is heavier than any that came before. What? Archer's indifference turned to surprise within the second. The swinging swords are crazy. They clash against his longsword with unimaginable speed. Where's his power coming from? The attacks are unlike before. Ju! He cannot go into defense. This attack could cut through the boy's neck. Realizing that he cannot make light of the boy, he swings the sword. Up and down. Left and right. The 4 attacks are enough to cut off his limbs and cut up his body to pieces. The boy blocks him. No. Exceeding his 4 attacks, the sword comes to slash his neck. Bringing back the longsword, he parries the attack. You! He intuitively understands that he'll be killed unless he attacks. The longsword attacks the enemy that is on the verge of death. The boy frantically swings his sword. Their swords crash in balance. The space is filled with sparks, and anything entering the space should be cut to pieces. But it should be the last spark that a dying man gives off. The boy loses his breath every time he attacks, almost falls, holds his ground, and attacks again. The sight reassures him. There's no power left in his enemy. The boy in front of him is literally on the verge of death. So why do those arms seemingly have infinite power? I have no consciousness. I can neither tell what the enemy is doing nor if my attacks are doing anything. My muscles are screaming for oxygen, and the lack of blood keeps ordering my body to stop. I suppress them altogether by force. It's all that's filling my head. My ideal is fake. He's right. I can't be a superhero. As long as I admire such a thing, I'll end up like the man before me. It isn't. But I felt beauty in it. I know it's just hypocrisy to value everyone else over yourself. But still, I admired it, thinking how great it would be if I could just live that way. That's the only thing driving my dying body. He cannot hear what his enemy is saying. His enemy's voice is weak, yet his attacks are relentless. Looking, the boy's hands are one with the sword's hilt. It must be to keep the sword in place, but that'll transfer the impact directly to his body. The boy is covered in blood, and he'll fall forward and die if he retreats. Even swinging the sword should come with great pain. He blocks it in annoyance. His dying enemy gets on his nerves, but he himself gets on his nerves. Because even though he knows what it'll end once he retreats, he's not able to do so. But how can he retreat? Straightforward attacks without strategy. If it is a shame to turn his back to such attacks, it's also a disgrace not to block them. His enemy will self-destruct once he retreats, but he has a presentiment, it's a new word, that he will lose something important if he does so. The worries will end soon. His enemy is at his limits. He'll fall after 2 more blows or 3 at most. Damn! He clucks his tongue at the stupid thought. He previously thought that his enemy would last 2 more blows, but he received over 10 blows since then. The boy will not fall. He can't hear the boy's voice. The dying boy frantically opposes the obstacle in front of him. That figure. He stares at the figure with his own eyes for the first time. I keep swinging the swords with arms that are about to tear off. The only thing I have left is this one thing I'm saying with all my might. Isn't. My barrage of strikes are compensation for that scream. There were people that could not save others, and there was me who couldn't save them. I swore to myself never to let such a thing happen again, seeing the memories that meaninglessly disappeared. It isn't. How long has it been since then? There were things that I lost, and there were things that I dropped. There are always things that will be forgotten, so I swore to myself never to forget this one fact. To become a superhero. I will protect it even if it isn't my wish, or even if it's just sophistry to soften my guilt. It has to come true. The person who saved me died, leaving those words behind. I believe in the wish contained in those words. Even if everyone in this world disagrees with me, and even if I myself curse me, And so, he realizes that the attacks will not end. His enemy will not stop. He won't stop from his own will. The boy is attacking with all his might, but he's not looking at his opponent. The thing the boy is trying to defeat is his obstacle, his own self that is hindering himself. He's swinging his sword to enforce what he believed in, what he will keep on believing in. Realizing that, the man grits his teeth in annoyance. The boy keeps challenging it, knowing that he won't win, and that there's no meaning to it. That is the exact mistake he has tested. So why? Why does he want to see how long this boy can continue? This is it. Disappear! He raises his longsword. His enemy's attacks are something he has to take seriously. He repels the attacks and crushes his enemy's skull for sure. A clanging sound. The fatal attack is easily deflected. The one who could not block his attacks until now propels a swing made with all his might. He gasps. He sees his enemy repel his sword and gets back into stance. The boy's eyes are looking straight at him. The impact causes one of my arms and legs to break. My sense of pain hasn't been numbed. I use my fury to clamp down on the pain that almost makes me pass out. The left side of the enemy's chest is open. Since half my body is broken, this will be my fatal blow. But such thoughts do not fill my head. The only thing in my head is... He pulls back his longsword to protect his open left side. He'll make it. He will easily make it. This is my final blow. It isn't a mistake! That's the only thing in my head. Even if Emi Shirou is a fake, that is absolutely true. For everyone to be happy. That is an ideal everyone thinks of. So I won't back down. Because this dream is... the unwavering gaze. Faults and lies. Shaking off everything. Running without stopping. It isn't a mistake! Those words are driven into his chest. An attack made at full strength. Defense that should have been fast enough. The cogwheels never got into gear, and the battle is decided quickly. He hears the sound of the blade piercing him. The one surprised is the knight in red. His enemy attacked with determination to defeat him. He's kind of looking at his sword. That it is natural for his attack to do so. The boy doesn't need to be surprised, nor does he have anything to spare to be surprised. That's why the knight is the only one that's surprised. It's a great wonder how he could not block an attack he would have easily blocked. I support myself with my unbroken right leg. The sword in my hand has pierced Archer's chest. Archer. Why? Oh. Acha. Why? Was she watching all this time from that place? Still standing at the entrance, Saber questions Archer. Archer doesn't answer. He might not need to answer. Or maybe he doesn't know the answer. My fingers throb. My broken fingers scream at me that they don't want to hold the sword anymore. The knight in red doesn't move. Even with a blade in his chest, a servant should be able to easily counterattack. But his hands are lowered, show no signs of moving. I know without being told what that means. I won, Archer. I make the declaration while looking at him. The knight in red closes his eyes once and... Yeah. And I lost. He murmurs while looking off in the distance, as if to convince himself. I pull out the sword. The projected weapon disperses as soon as it touches outside air. Ah, God! The tension floods out of me, and I finally take notice of my condition. It's terrible. The slashed wounds are healing, but lots of places are turning dark red. Oh shit, what's happening? What's happening? That's not the button I pressed. Archer said something about Saber's sheath, but what's that power putting priority on? It heals the torn flesh at once, but it seems to be putting off the broken bones until later. Then I hear loud footsteps from the west side, the hallway the Lancer disappeared into. Someone's coming. She appears at the turrets and jumps down without hesitation. Ow! And she moans in pain at her landing. Shirou, you're right. Wait, Archer, what's with that wound? She follows her sudden arrival with a torrent of questions. It seems Lancer saved Tosaka as he promised. But Tosaka's energy takes the power out of me. Does she want to check on my safety, or is she angry about Archer's wound? Man, I'm really soft-hearted. Oh. Man, am I really soft-hearted. If she'd been more cruel, I wouldn't have returned to my old self. He talks sarcastically, but his voice only contains warmth. After looking at Tosaka once, the knight in red steps back as if to exit the stage. Well, the match is settled. A hero called Emiya cannot stay here, and that he has approved of you. The loser should leave right away. Without saying goodbye to Tosaka, huh? His wound is deep, and he has no master. He'll disappear here, and will return to the original place as a heroic spirit. Huh? It happens in an instant. It's a fatal attack that takes the opening in me as I relaxed after seeing Tosaka. Several swords are called forth. The rain of swords comes down to pierce Emi Shirou's body, and I fall. I'm pushed back and fall on my ass. I'm pushed back about a meter. In front of me, my broken limbs cannot support my body, and I don't have the power to get back up. And so, I can only look up at myself that got skewered in front of me. Who is it? Saber's scream cuts to the silence. She's looking at the second floor, on top of the crumbled stairs. I have enjoyed it. Indeed, it was a pitiful battle, one befitting a pair of fakes. Acha? 10 years, huh, Saber? I was going to see you earlier, but my plans have changed. Unexpected things kept on happening, and things are going against my will. Servant Gilgamesh, the one to defeat Berserker, and the one who killed Iliasville. He turns aside Saber's glare and looks down at me and the skewered archer. Well, do you understand now? That is the strength of the real thing. No matter how we imitated shape and power, it's still only an imitation. It does not even approach the radiance of the real ones. He raises his hand. It's as if he's ordering his soldiers. Cannot even stand to look at a counterfeit that a faker has created. You piece of trash. You have nothing real within you. An imitation made by copying people should be turned into junk. He shoots numerous noble phantasms. The unavoidable rain pours down. There are about 30 of them. I couldn't dodge or block them even if I was in perfect condition. Clouds of dust spring up. A shower of swords tears past the already ruined hall. But even in the midst of the chaos, I see it. The red cloak flies. Still skewered, he runs to me and pushes me once again. I'm pushed away from the red figure. His eyes are telling me, you defeat him. But as long as I defeated Archer, and as long as I want to be a superhero, I must defeat him. The clouds of dust fill my vision. The red cloak sinks inside the rubble, but I see it before he disappears. His eyes are filled with confidence. That servant is no match for us, Emiya Shirou. Neither Saber nor Tosaka will be the one to defeat him. My own self is telling me that Emiya Shirou is the natural enemy of that servant. My vision clears up. Dust is in the air and rubble's piled high. There's nothing else. The knight in red disappeared underneath the rubble. Oh, I'm surprised, Archer. You had enough to spare someone else in this situation. His sarcastic words contain some scorn. The man smiles in satisfaction and looks down at the hall filled with Archer's blood. Silence falls. Gilgamesh is the most powerful being here. Anyone that moves will follow Archer's fate. Even Saber is silent, wondering how best to attack the enemy. But whose permission did you get to attack my Archer? With Archer's death, Tosaka has lost her composure. Light runs across space. Pure destructive force, magical energy released from the jewel without processing. He doesn't even dodge it. He isn't even scratched. I was gonna kill that dying kid first, but it seems the order has changed, woman. He orders the swords behind him to carry out Tosaka's execution. The sword is released at high velocity. Saber runs with surpassing speed and protects her master. Saber? Please step back, Rin. He is dangerous. He'll kill you if you attack him recklessly. Oh, so you're her master now. Fine. Then I shall overlook your rudeness. I will lose one of my pleasures if Saber disappears. Saber glares at the enemy while raiding her invincible sword. Why are you here, Archer? You were summoned to the previous Holy Grail War. So why are you here again in this one? What is wrong? I merely stayed in the world after the previous war. What? Ridiculous! Servants should lose connection to the world once the Grail disappears. There's no way you can stay in this world for 10 years. That's not true. The connection with this world is not the Holy Grail, but the Master. The Holy Grail merely opened up the passage. I can stay in this world as long as a mage provides me with magical energy. But then, there aren't many masters that can maintain a servant without help from the Grail. In that regard, my master didn't have enough magical energy. Then it should not be possible for you to stay in the world. If your master cannot support a servant, you should be dried up along with your master. That depends on how one does it. Mages make up for a lack of magic circuit with knowledge. In that regard, my master was exceptional. Was? And his master's gone now? No, his master's Shinji. The fact that he, the man who wouldn't obey anyone, obeyed Shinji is proof of that. Then your master did the same thing as Raita's master. Yeah, it's only natural to take away from others what you cannot supply if you cannot supply it yourself. But to be honest, I didn't need to do such a thing. I am the only servant that the Holy Grail poured on. I have already completed the incarnation 10 years ago. Saber stares at the man in astonishment. Saber hangs her head at the words 10 years ago. Yes, all thanks to you, Saber. I know what that thing is. I was covered in its contents and I saw what existed in it. Then you... Yes, I understood the true identity of the Holy Grail. I decided at that time, I will be the only one who will handle it. Saber. No. Looking down at all of us, he declares something that is unbefitting for a servant. You will use the Holy Grail? That's right. There's no need for me to share it with a parasite like my master. I use the Holy Grail for my objective. The biggest obstacle, the summoner, was eliminated. All that's left are pathetic mages that would be completely unsuited to being the vessel. Such failures are unsuited to my wish. But then, your flesh might make a perfect Holy Grail. The man looks at Tosaka. Oh. Tosaka must feel the danger. She grows pale and steps back. His red eyes are ominous. One would feel uncomfortable under the weight of that gaze. His eyes are so apparent that even Tosaka is frightened of them. Ridiculous! The Holy Grail is what the Master obtains. We servants cooperate with the masters because we cannot obtain it ourselves. That is strange. The servants are the only ones that can touch the Grail. The masters are the only ones who can obtain it. But... It's all ridiculous nonsense. The fight for the Holy Grail by 7 masters? A ritual where the last master obtains the Holy Grail? That is only an excuse made for outsiders. The summoning of the Holy Grail is already completed. They always called the 7 servants after the Holy Grail is prepared. Do you understand, King of Knights? They don't want the Holy Grail, but what goes in it. Masters are just circuits to summon us. Mages made the Holy Grail, but they couldn't prepare its contents. I told you earlier, right? The ones that take away from others if they cannot supply it themselves. The purest magical energy to fill the Holy Grail. The greatest souls of humanity, the Guardians, are what they sought. The 7 servants are sacrifices they prepared. What? Huh? Saber looks up at the man in astonishment. Her eyes are desperately trying to deny his words. That isn't possible. She's trying to deny it, saying that what she wished for, the Holy Grail, can't be such a thing. You shouldn't be surprised. The Holy Grail is a filtration device that turns the soul into pure magical energy. Yes, it should let you grant any wish. It contains more magical energy than a mage could ever use in his lifetime. That's why it's better with more sacrifices. It should be omnipotent with 6 servants and sacrifices. 5 servants have filled the Holy Grail. Only 1 was needed for the omnipotent Grail they sought. Then only the masters can handle the Grail. If it is a repository of pure magical energy, only mages can use it. Yes, if the master is an excellent mage, it'll grant him any wish. You idiot. Such magicals are not given to mere humans. Humans only destroy themselves, no matter how much power they're given. But don't worry, Saber. This Holy Grail is real. If you insert 7 servants in it, it will reach the origin. Origin? Hold on, then could the Holy Grail be? I don't know who it is, but the one who made it this rule is a genius. But it doesn't concern me. I have no interest in such a thing. All I'm interested is the Holy Grail's ability to serve as the gate. What? The Holy Grail is a gate? It happened 10 years ago. You opposed me right when I was about to obtain the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail was cut by the Holy Sword, and what poured out burned the town. As I was right underneath the Grail, I was showered in it. I understood the true identity of the Holy Grail at that time. It's worthless. It is worthless, but it does have its uses. Not many weapons are as specialized in murder as that. The Holy Grail is fine as it is. There's no need to turn it into an omnipotent vessel. Weapon? Are you saying that a weapon is created out of servants? We are weapons to begin with. That thing was only perfected that. The Holy Grail is a gate to hell. 5.6 billion curses will flow out from it once it is opened. Kodamine didn't tell you about it? The Holy Grail is named Angra Mainyu, or All the Evils of the World. It is mud that'll consume every human being like the name states. Angra Mainyu? I think that's the name of the devil in Zoroastrianism. The leader of the evil that opposes God for many thousands of years. It is an embodiment of evil, of the evil in all human, and it is depicted as a reflected image of all of humanity's goodwill. But why is the Holy Grail named after the ancient Persian devil? Then your intention is to... Yeah, to sweep the humans away. I have no intention of admiring humanity like Kodamine. I only admire beautiful things. This world's enjoyable, but it is incorrigible at the same time. It is an insult to the king for so many wretches to be enjoying life. I do not want to rule over such a world. Are you stupid? What insult to the king! It's meaningless to be the king if all the humans are eliminated. I don't care if they die out. There's no point to their lives if they end them through their own crimes. I do not want mongrels. The only ones worth ruling over are those that can survive even the flames of hell. In that respect, they were an utter failure 10 years ago. If such a pitiful blaze will wipe them out, humans truly have become weak. He grins. For the first time, he looks at me, who he said is a failure. I don't know what all this evils of the world is. Oh, I don't know what all this evils of the world is, but it's convenient. It is a reaper that strikes down all humans equally. An endless darkness that is born from humans and kills them. It is an appropriate hound to entrust with the work I should be doing. Gilgamesh raises his hand. Behind him are noble phantasms waiting for the king's order. Then let us continue this battle from 10 years ago. A boring mongrel got involved last time, but there will be no such interruptions this time. But then, it seems a worse figure is here. The swords are all pointed at me. I will have broken legs to stand, but they don't move. Damn, can't even manage to block one of those. So why? Why did Archer leave behind that message? The swords disappear. The golden servant suddenly lowers his arm. After looking up at the ceiling in discomfort, he brushes away the dust on his shoulder. Yeah, the ashes will dirty me. You have escaped death this time, child. Huh? The castle is burning. I don't know who set the fire, but it must be huge. The third floor is burning down and the second floor is caught as well. It's not that really surprising. He really stopped the battle just because he was going to get dirty from the ashes. No, sorry, the surprising thing was that he didn't. Are you running away, Archer? I'm only changing the location. I have the Holy Grail. It is my policy to finish matters quickly. I shall quickly construct the Holy Grail and open the gate to hell. His golden hair flutters. Gilgamesh walks to the terrace that isn't yet burning. You should hurry up if you want to recover it. The Holy Grail this time is a hurriedly constructed defect. All the contents will spill out if you don't hurry. His stifled laughter echoes through the room, and he leaves the burning castle like that. Sparks are dancing through the room, and the ceiling's tinted red. The gorgeous castle shows no trace of what it used to be. The castle without a master crumbles without a trace, as if to follow the girl in white. White girl. Help us, white girl. Interlude 15-3. Ha, ha, ha. Mato Shinji's running through the forest with beast-like breath. He's actually running along the selected route, but his mentality is that of a wanderer. He's running away without aim, so the word wandering is more benefiting. Damn! I'm so close! Everyone's getting in my way! He pushes the branches aside with one hand and runs while scattering wet dirt. Leaving a trail of blood behind him, Mato Shinji heads to the edge of the forest. He's not treated the wound he received from Lancer. He doesn't feel his right arm anymore. The wound is inflamed and his arm will not move, as though dead. He must not be able to run with only one arm as he slips and leans against a tree. His dangling arm is like a piece of trash. As soon as he realizes that part of his body is a useless piece of trash, Mato Shinji starts laughing. The laughter comes out like a wrecking cough. It hurts. It must be because of the wound that his body is burning hot. In a daze, he imagines his wounded arm rotting away. After that, he imagines everyone around him rotting away. Not just one of their arms. He has one arm. All the other idiots should lose both their arms. He can't stop laughing. With that decision made, the pain becomes bearable. He has a legitimate purpose now. The first thing he would do is collect every possible arm. There will be no exceptions. That's great. I know whose arms I'll get first. The girl that did not become his. Since she is his favorite, He cannot allow her to be superior to him. Yeah, just you wait, Tosaka. I'll make you inferior. Laughing, Mato Shinji raises his head. Huh? When did he appear? A servant standing right in front of him. You! He looks at a servant in surprise. The golden servant looks down at Mato Shinji as looking at livestock. You are wounded. That must hurt. And he says something that he does not mean. Mato Shinji's face contorts. Without realizing the true intention of his servant, he glares at the man before him. That must hurt? Whose fault do you think it is? I got hit by Lancer because you're stupid! Don't talk shit when you can't even be my guard dog! With his head on fire, Mato Shinji insults his servant. The golden servant nods, saying, This'll do. So Lancer inflicted that wound of yours, huh? It must have been him that released that master. Yeah, Tosaka ran away because you were such a slow ass. Makes me want to puke thinking how I lost her to somebody who was almost dead. I see. That's too bad. Why are you so calm? We can't obtain the Holy Grail without Tosaka, right? Damn! Everything's ruined because of you. Do you understand? What are we going to... Don't worry. Everything is as planned. The Holy Grail will still be created. The servant's voice contains no emotion. Mato Shinji does not realize that his red eyes aren't looking at him. How? Kurumine said that even if we have the Holy Grail, we can't make it if there's no vessel. That kid's heart is not enough. That won't turn into a Holy Grail unless we connect it to a magic circuit, right? Mato Shinji walks up to a servant and scolds him for his stupidity. The golden servant nods and... There is no problem. There is another master here that can be a vessel. He thrusts his arm. A piercing sound. Mato Shinji never finds out what that sound is. Huh? But he feels something funny in his stomach. Looking down, he sees his servant's arm there. The fist is inside his body. There's neither pain nor blood. The servant's arm is in his body, like the absurd spiritual operation he saw before. You want the Holy Grail, right? Then I shall give it to you. You want it so much, do not let go of it. His blood vessels expand, after feeling the sensations of billions of worms squirming through his body trying to get out. He becomes something that is not Mato Shinji. It convulses. The swollen object is literally just a lump of meat. There is no shape to it. It is composed of exposed meat and blood vessels, quickly forming meat and quickly decaying meat. Help, stop. Unable to bear the pain of the repeating growth and decay and the sensation of something wiggling inside of him, he loses his sanity. After watching it, the servant lets go as if nothing has happened. This is ugly. A powerful mage should not change form, but I guess it can't be helped. A chain comes down. Descending from the sky, heaven's chains bind over the writhing mass of flesh. The balance of expansion and decay is about the same right now, but the Holy Grail should figure out its master soon enough. Expansion should overwhelm the decay by then. His Holy Grail should be completed in no time. Ugly things are tastier. Most of all, you shall spit out suitable mud, Shinji. The servant laughs. And beside him, the piece of meat repeats, "Help me," in a voice that is no longer human. Interlude out. Shirou, are your wounds all right? Oh, yeah, that's fine. I feel good. And I can still use my circuits. I see. That is good. Apparently, having run out of things to talk about, Saber awkwardly ends the conversation. We've been like this for an hour since we came home. We don't have the composure to be celebrating Tosaka's safety, nor do we celebrate our reunion. The situation isn't really good at all. The last servant, Gilgamesh. As long as he has the Holy Grail, we have to fight him. We don't have any plans to beat him. The more we think about it, the more we realize it's hopeless. It's only natural for us to grow quiet. But I don't think that's the only reason we're quiet. This is probably the end. This will be the last time we go into battle like this. No matter what the results may be, what awaits us doesn't change. The Holy Grail War will end. After that, the three of us won't be able to talk like this. Looking back, it was only a course of about 10 days. About 12. I never had time to think back about what happened the day before, and I was too busy with all the events that came up one after another. But they weren't just painful events. Looking back at it, these past 10 days are precious memories that can't be replaced. That's why we're keeping our mouths shut. We don't want to admit the obvious truth. The decision should be clear to all of us already. We can't say it because we don't want to end it like this. Then I'll say it. I'm going to avenge Archer. He betrayed me, and he was a twisted guy. But he's still Shirou. Tosaka made up her mind. She says that she'll fight Gilgamesh. She clearly states that she'll end this fight. How about you, Shirou? I'll have Saber come with me, no matter what, but I can't force you to fight since you're not a master. It seems that Goldie really hates you, so I think he'll go after you first if we fight him. Maybe Tosaka's trying to be considerate by offering me an escape. But I'm already determined. I can't let Gilgamesh be. I intuitively know that the Holy Grail shouldn't exist. But there's a bigger reason for me not to back out of this. You defeat him. He left those words to me, to survive instead of him. Oh, and let me survive instead of him. The man who only denied him is Shirou. As I have made him admit his defeat, my path is determined. I'm going to defeat him. I chose to fight. He'll complain to me unless I keep my word till the very end. I see. I won't stop you if that's where you decided. Yeah, and I can't just ignore the Holy Grail. If the Holy Grail is what he says it is, we have to destroy it. We'll completely destroy it so something like this will never happen again. Saber has fought with the objective of obtaining the Holy Grail. Oh shit, there it goes. Her hesitation and reluctance aren't easily overcome, but still. I understand. If the Holy Grail is what Gilgamesh says it is, it should not exist in this world. She kills her wish, in a sense. Alright. I get up and head to the kitchen. I put on the apron. I tie it behind my back and roll up my sleeves. Shirou? What, did you come up with a good idea? What? No, I'm just gonna make something. You two are hungry, right? I ignore the astonished party and start preparing dinner. It's all decided. Now we just need to act like always. We'll eat dinner together and go beat him after that. I take out a bowl and a frying pan. I'll use everything I have in the refrigerator. I'll forget about everything tonight, and I'll make a delicious feast. You're right. Let us eat dinner like always. That suits us. Yeah, then I guess I'll help as well. Oh, Saber, can you go prepare the bath? Is that all still today? Hold on. I'm gonna stop for a second because I gotta check something. Oh, they're all the same. Interesting. I may have misjudged something. Is there? Hold on. Come on, work with me here. There it goes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wait, really? Shit. You know what? Okay. I'm kind of ambling around here. Let me. Is that really as long as it looks? Yeah. Wow. Hey. Okay. Okay. So this chapter is much longer than I thought it was going to be, and I actually wanted to make what happens next like the last thing. So that'll be all for tonight, guys. We're kind of stopping in the middle, which is a little unprecedented, but we'll be fine. No, not auto read. Shit. There it is. Finally. Okay. Kind of an extra long one, guys. I honestly wasn't expecting it. I did my normal check, but I guess it was longer than I thought it was. Anyway, for now, that'll be it. And hope you guys had a good, enjoyable time. Got to see Lancer do some really fucking cool shit. And yeah, that'll kind of be it for tonight. I'm gonna date this a little bit by saying I'm actually really excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow is when the new Fate property comes out, Samurai Remnant. I'm looking forward to it for a while now. Very interesting. I already bought my copy. But as for the rest of tonight, you guys try to have a good one, and I'll see you again next week. And I hope our next time together isn't as long awaited as last time. Later.